Luka, he's now in L.A., sponsorships, ads. I understand that. I don't think Luka has been in a commercial yet. Even in Dallas, he hasn't been in a commercial. So I'm not sure if he's into that world, but in L.A., I think he has to somewhat adapt to it, somewhat. The ad sponsorships and all that good stuff, but I don't think it's going to bring in a guaranteed $345 million. He's still probably looking at Dallas like, damn, y'all ain't have to do me like that. Top of the Top, episode 276, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute, or there's just an episode you saw some topics you may want to hear about, thank you for tuning in as well. Podcast available on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Also, like this video as well on YouTube. Subscribe to your preferred audio platform. Tell a friend, tell another friend, check out this show. All love is greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. Friday is Valentine's Day, so salute to everybody who indulge in that. Be safe, be aware of y'all surroundings. Love each other, make love, all that good stuff. Shouts out to you. Now, this week episode got a lot of things to talk about. Starting things off with the NBA trade deadline. A lot of moves were made. Luka to L.A., Anthony Davis in Dallas, De'Aaron Fox in San Antonio, Jimmy Butler finds a new home in Golden State, and some more moves I want to talk about as well, dealing with the NBA. And then we get into the music side of things. We got the Chainz, Larry June, Life is Beautiful album drop, all produced by Alchemist. And also on Valentine's Day Friday, the long-awaited Drake and PartyNextDoor collab album is coming out. So I want to get my early thoughts on that, my expectations as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy new episode, Stash House Podcast. Let's get to it. Now, starting things off in the NBA, I touched on it a little bit last week, but now I can go more in detail. The first blockbuster trade of the NBA trade season, in my opinion, we got Luka Doncic going to L.A. In return, Dallas get Anthony Davis. It happened a couple weeks ago, Saturday night. Like I said, I got finished watching Royal Rumble. Shortly after that, we got this blockbuster news. And, of course, it served the trickle effect for the NBA trade deadline that I'll get into later. But, I mean, off the rip, huge trade. It goes with Laker history from Kareem to the Kobe trade to the Pau Gasol trade, signing LeBron when they signed LeBron. The NBA revolves around the Lakers. Shout out to Boston. They got their championship. They got their championship last season. Golden State had their dynasty run throughout those years. San Antonio stays in the mix. But at the end of the day, Showtime, Hollywood, the Lakers, yet again pick up another big star in Luka. We'll see how it goes. I'll talk more about that in a little while. We'll see how it goes. Some more details have came about with that trade because automatically we was thinking and I am a Lakers fan through the way of the great Kobe Bryant, the GOAT. So as a Laker fan, I am wondering, like, dang, Anthony Davis, he made it known he wants a 5 so he can go back to the 4. Shortly after that news came about, he's traded. What's going on? Basically, it was a call made from Dallas to L.A. Dallas made an offer the Lakers cannot refuse. It's as simple as that. Throughout all these years, the past 10, 15, I'll say, the players have had control of what team they play for, their teammates, their contract. They've been in control, so this is the first time in a while I'll say the GMs are starting to take control once again because you're thinking, as a Dallas fan, we've been seeing the Dallas Mavericks fans' reaction to this. They sending out, you would think, an unfortunate situation has happened to Luka personally, but I'm sure Luka is like, hey, I mean, we got to the finals last season. That's the way the ball rolled. You sending me to L.A. I'm sure Luka is a little distraught because, you build the fan base in Dallas. You get in touch with the community in Dallas, especially as a foreign player like Luka is. So I understand that aspect. But at the same time, I'm sure he's like, Dallas, okay, no taxes. I understand that. But L.A. is numerous opportunities outside of basketball. And we'll see how that plays out and Luka's future in LA. But we know the Dallas fan base reaction. When the press conference happened, I think it was one of Dallas's GMs, if I'm not mistaken, but he had Jason Kidd sitting beside him, and he was like, yeah, even Jason Kidd didn't know. You can see on Jason Kidd's face, he was like, yeah, bro, they definitely didn't call me about this situation. But you getting Anthony Davis in return. I think that was one thing I was kind of scratching my head at. People was acting like the Lakers just did a highway robbery on the Dallas Mavericks. I'm like, man, they still got Kyrie. Of course, you got Klay. You got the surrounding pieces Luka had in Dallas, and you bring in Anthony Davis, barring injury. I did see over the game, I think it was Saturday, he went to the locker room, so, hopefully he stays healthy. But, I mean, you still got Kyrie, dog. You still got Kyrie. And Luka in L.A., of course, he got LeBron, Austin Reeves, Hachimura. But now without AD, I think my guy with Hayes, the young guy, played the 5. But now we have more information because another trade happened with Charlotte, Mark Williams for Connect and Cam Reddish. And now that's been basically revoked or voided because Mark Williams didn't pass a physical or something like that. So now Connect and Cam Reddish are going back to L.A. That's got to be kind of weird. Y'all know for a minute now I've been talking about Cam Reddish. I just feel like he get that opportunity he can really show, but he hasn't showed up. So now you trade him in. Now I can't go to that team because it's been voided by the guy you were trying to get. It's voided because of him. And Connect is a rookie. So now, like AD said, man, we need a 5. AD was the 5. He gone. You tried to get Williams. Now that can't happen. So I'm looking out to see what's going to happen with that situation. Now you can't get Williams. Is it like, okay, you can get somebody else? Or is it, since the trade deadline over with, hey, you got to work with what you got? A lot of people, including Laker Nation, have just got on the mindset of, okay, maybe not this year, but let's see what happens in the offseason. Can you surround Luka with the teammates he needs? Because this is obviously a move made for the future. LeBron doesn't have 10 more years left. I understand what he's doing at 40. It's incredible. But I don't see LeBron doing 10 more years. I think Luka probably added maybe another 2. Because during this offseason, LeBron was talking about how long he has left. I'm sure Luka's going to put more miles on that. But at the same time, I am on the side of, y'all, LeBron is 40 and he's starting. If he wants to, he can, like we see what Chris Paul is doing this in San Antonio and numerous. We've seen Russell Westbrook do it a few times, come off the bench. If he gets in that mode where it's like, okay, I don't got to be the 6th man off the bench. I could be 7th or 8th. But y'all know what I've done in my career. That's not a bad way to end your career at the same time. LeBron, he could add more years just by coming off the bench. We haven't even thought about it. We're just thinking he's going to retire as a starter, which will be amazing. But, I mean, Luka is definitely adding years to LeBron's career, in my opinion. Now, in terms of Dallas, once again, with Luka, he misses out on max contract dollars, $345 million to be exact. Now, I understand people saying, Luka, he's now in L.A., sponsorships, ads. I understand that. I don't think Luka has been in a commercial yet. Even in Dallas, he hasn't been in a commercial. So I'm not sure if he's into that world, but in L.A., I think he has to somewhat adapt to it, somewhat. The ad sponsorships and all that good stuff. But I don't think it's going to bring in a guaranteed $345 million. He's still probably looking at Dallas like, damn, y'all ain't have to do me like that. And then the guys coming out talking about being overweight and defensive liability, which I understand, but I mean, him alongside Kyrie did get y'all to the finals last year. We understand with these star players, Joker, Embiid, who got injury history, but you surround these guys with players that can substitute for that role that they play in. Perfect example, now with the Lakers. I'm sure Dallas, I think they play in February, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas and the Lakers. I'm sure Dallas is probably saying, hey, they're trying to find a way to get Kyrie one-on-one with Luka. Don't set no pick and roll. Let Luka switch on Kyrie. Let Kyrie just go to work. Now, you got to have players that can substitute for your star player liability on defense. I do agree with that. Now, overall thoughts for the Lakers moving forward. This Williams trade revolt does change a lot of things, in my opinion. It does change a lot of things, in my opinion. They're fourth seed in the West. They did defeat the Indiana Pacers Saturday without LeBron and Luka, and people were saying LeBron was out because he's going to take a PJ to New Orleans for the Super Bowl, and Luka plans to return Monday. I believe they play the Jazz. So I saw, wasn't Kendrick Perkins, Udonis Haslem said that on one of the pre-shows I watched. I think it was Friday night. He said, yeah, they are seeing, okay, we got a game against Tyrese them on Saturday, Indiana. Bron definitely wants to go to the Super Bowl. Who knows? Luka might be there with him Sunday night. And when we come back, we got the Utah Jazz Monday, and Luka's making his first Lakers appearance. LeBron coming back from a rest game. They know what time it is. So Udonis is like, as the Utah Jazz, you're looking at that as kind of disrespect. It's like, oh, both of y'all want to come back when y'all play us. Okay, cool. Knowing that one, if not both of y'all, were just at the Super Bowl the night before. So that's how Udonis Haslem broke it down. I love to hear that from a former player. So, yeah, the big news to start the NBA trade deadline, Luka to L.A., Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks. I think it's really more about the Mavericks letting go of Luka than it is the Lakers trading away Anthony Davis. Dallas made a call the Lakers could not refuse. A generational player like Luka, but now Luka-LeBron tandem, you got Austin Reeves, Hachimura, and those guys. We'll see how it play out. Another trade that happened, De'Aaron Fox goes to the San Antonio Spurs. I was hearing whispers about this trade for a few days before it happened, and it just seems like the Sacramento Kings is like blowing up their operation. They fired Mike Brown, head coach, for no reason, basically. They brought in Doug Christie. Of course, if you're a Lakers fan, back when Afro, Kobe, and Shaq was going up against that Sacramento Kings team with Mike Bibby, Doug Christie, Chris Webber, Divock, all those guys. But you fire Mike Brown, you bring in Doug Christie as head coach. Your franchise player, De'Aaron Fox, made it known he wants out of Sacramento. Sacramento drafted him number 5 in the NBA draft in 2017. He's been their cornerstone player. Some may think untouchable to get from the Sacramento Kings. So now they got Sabonis over there. Hey, De'Aaron Fox said he wanted out. He's with the San Antonio Spurs. Him and Wemby, that's going to be a great tandem. That's going to be a great tandem. You still got Chris Paul on the sideline, that veteran leadership. My main thing with San Antonio, though, what's going on with Pop? I know he had health issues and all that. Hope Greg Popovich, the legendary coach of the San Antonio Spurs, I hope everything is good with him, health-wise. Not even on no coaching and health-wise. I hope Pop is good. I haven't heard much more information about that since it first broke that he was taking a break. So hopefully everything good with Pop. But nonetheless, that De'Aaron Fox, Wemby tandem, that's going to be great in San Antonio. That's going to be great. Now, y'all know when it comes to these young NBA players like Wemby, we see how Ben Simmons' career panned out. We'll see if Zion can turn it around. I understand the hype coming out of the draft. I understand the hype, number 1 pick, top 5 picks. I understand it, but at the same time, we got to let the career develop. But Wemby has showed like he is a unicorn. Shout out to Kristaps Porzingis, but Wemby does seem to be like a unicorn in today's league. With him and De'Aaron Fox, I think that's going to be a great tandem. Also, Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler Miami Heat drama is now over with. He now finds himself at Golden State with the Warriors, Steph Curry, Kuminga, Draymond Green. And obviously a lot of people's main thought was, how will Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler coexist? Literally, I do not know. I'm just as curious as y'all. I'm very looking forward to see how that plays out in the locker room and on court. It was rumors. I think it was not even rumor. I think it was fact. Golden State reached out to Kevin Durant in Phoenix to come back and rejoin the Golden State Warriors. And he was like, nah, I don't want to. I'm cool on that. Like, he served his purpose when he went. He got scrutinized for when he went. Won 2 championships, however. And, of course, like I said with Jimmy Butler, the KD and Draymond Green, that whole shabacle happened. The Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. Golden State's next 5 years did alter a lot when Kevin Durant left. They came up on a championship in 2022, and I figured they thought, we got Andrew Wiggins, we got Jordan Poole, but then the Jordan Poole, Draymond Green situation happened. So Draymond, a lot of fingers can get pointed at him for the craziness going on in Golden State. But let's not forget they did win in 2022. Like when I hear conversations about Golden State, I'm like, I understand it, but they did win a ring when people thought it was over with for them. So we'll see, can they get it together with Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler, like I said, the Miami Heat drama is over with. 7 games he missed in Miami throughout all the drama going on with him and Pat Riley. That totaled up to $2.4 million in fines. So that's why when people saying, how would this work out in Golden State, you are talking about a man who did miss 7 games, up to $2.4 million in fines. And it was made known and clear, I think, that Golden State was hesitant on making this move. I don't think this is the move they wanted. I think they wanted KD. But KD couldn't go. Devin Booker in Phoenix, he's untouchable. Phoenix got caught up in the Bradley Beal contract, which was crazy when I heard it. So Kevin Durant was the odd man, but Kevin Durant was like, no, let's work with what we got. You know what I'm saying? Work what we got in Phoenix. Like, don't. It goes back to what I've been saying for years. Like, when teams do these trades and try to sign star players simply because they star players, doesn't mesh well with your team. A lot of teams are in position to make runs. They don't want to mess it up by trying to start after All-Star break and get chemistry together and all that. So that was what Kevin Durant was saying to the Suns organization. I'm glad they took heed of that. That would have been crazy to say, oh, let's trade KD to Golden State, even though he said he didn't want to go to Golden State. That would have been kind of crazy. And at the moment, Golden State is 11th seed in the West. So they can try to make a push for the play-in. We'll see how it goes. Other moves made, NBA trade deadline. Kyle Kuzma from the Wizards is now with the Milwaukee Bucks. In return, the Wizards get Chris Middleton. So that Giannis-Chris Middleton tandem has been broken up. But I was like, huh? I was one of the guys like, huh? The only thing I've been seeing people saying is Kuzma is younger than Chris Middleton. But we know what Chris Middleton can do, but he has been held back with injuries within the past few seasons. That is a valid reason. You're a great player. You help us get a chip. We know what you're asking for contract-wise, but, man, your injury report, your injury history. So they're bringing in a guy, Kyle Kuzma. He was with the Lakers, of course. With the Wizards and Jordan Poole, we knew that shit wasn't going to work out. We knew that shit wasn't going nowhere. They were just out there showboating for the women in the front row. That's really the only reason them two guys was out there, to showboat for the women, the Instagram models that show up to the game. So now he's with Giannis and Dame Lillard in Milwaukee. We'll see how it goes. Chris Middleton, hopefully he can make some noise in Washington, but Washington, as an organization at the moment, they don't got nothing there to make Chris Middleton happy about leaving Milwaukee at all. Now in Atlanta news, you got Bogey leaving, going to the Clippers. Also, DeAndre Hunter is going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I got coworkers I talk to, they're fans of the Hawks, and I give them my input on it. But like I told y'all, when DeJounte Murray and Trae Young didn't work out, I didn't know what the Hawks really had left to do. I understand you got the role players. You got the Bogies, the DeAndre Hunters at the time. You got Okongwu, great role players to Trae Young. But at this point, it's like, what you going to do with Trae Young? Because it was over the offseason, like, okay, either DeJounte Murray or Trae Young is leaving, maybe even both. So now you just basically told Trae Young, getting rid of your main 2 role players. You still got Okongwu, but all in all, the Hawks, they got Karis LeVert from the Cleveland Cavaliers, but all in all, we'll see where it goes when it comes to the Hawks. We'll see where it goes. So with this NBA trade deadline, I think it was meant to be kind of quiet, but when that blockbuster trade, Luka and AD happened, I think some people were just kind of shuffling around trying to figure out what other move they can make. Really to simply say, outside of De'Aaron Fox and outside of Jimmy Butler, I think a lot of these trades just happen just so they can be in the headlines, just so they can be mentioned amongst the Luka and AD trade. De'Aaron Fox made it clear he wanted out of Sacramento, and of course we know Jimmy Butler wanted out of Miami. But we didn't know anything about Luka being shipped away from Dallas. The Lakers made a decision to go with Anthony Davis, send him over to Dallas. We'll see how it turns out for both teams. Like I said, Luka and LeBron should be playing with each other Monday night. We'll see how it goes. But all in all, NBA trade deadline shake things up before the All-Star break. Now to wrap things up in the music world, we got 2 Chainz and Larry June, Life is Beautiful project, 11 records, all produced by Alchemist. And we saw pictures and videos going around within the past few weeks with these 3 guys, and it had me just questioning, is it one song, a few songs, a collab? And we got the collab project, so I'm very pleased to talk about this album. The main question going into it was, how would they mesh? Content-wise, I expected similar entrepreneurship, healthy eating, flexing, cars, watches. I expected that. They kind of similar in content, so I wasn't worried about that. But in terms of flows and with Alchemist production, I was very intrigued to hear 2 Chainz on Alchemist production because I have been one of the guys. I graduated college in 2016, and I feel like 2 Chainz and the producer Static Selector been teasing a project with each other since then, since at least 2017 with the Smoke Break song they dropped. That's a great song too, by the way. So to hear 2 Chainz on these, I mean, at this point, Alchemist is not underground without question, but to hear 2 Chainz on the more soulful, boom bappy type production, I was very intrigued to hear it for a full project with Larry June. You know what I'm saying? Larry June, we've been waiting on Larry June Currency collab for a minute. Another Larry June, Jay Worthy. Me personally, I've been on the side of 2 Chainz, Money Man collab. So to see these 2 get together with Alchemist, I was excited. I just want to know how the sounds, how the flows will mesh with Alchemist production. But how dare I question Alchemist production to begin with? Y'all know I'm a huge fan of Alchemist, been a huge fan of Alchemist. I know he caters to the artists he works with. We know how him and Larry June sound together. And with 2 Chainz, he just so versatile and as a lyricist overall who doesn't get the credit he deserves for all that, by the way. He'll mesh with most producers, especially hip-hop producers. So I was reminded of that very quick while listening to this project. And just wondering, like I say, the content, I'm sure it's going to be, kind of similar. I was wondering, like, how do these 2 connect? But it's that Bay Area Atlanta connection. Go back to Too Short, linking up with Lil Jon them back in the 90s, really, before everything popped off in the crunk era. So I was reminded that Bay Area Atlanta connection is real. So shout out to these guys for making it happen. Now, before I talk about my favorite songs on this project, staying with 2 Chainz for a minute, I think 2 Chainz is on pace to have a great year in 2025. I want to say it was last year he announced he was officially independent. He off Def Jam Records. And what better way to show the record label that you're now independent than going with Larry June and Alchemist, 2 guys who have been moving on the independent grind for some years. I'm sure a vinyl is going to come out of this as well. Wouldn't be mad at a pop-up. That's just how Alchemist, and especially now with Larry June coming up under Alchemist showing him, the vinyls, the merchandise, like get that going, your fan base. The fan base want to support you. They're going to support you. And 2 Chainz know that as well. 2 Chainz got the Escobar restaurant in Atlanta. He got the Candyland strip club in Atlanta. He had the Dabbing Santa merchandise. So 2 Chainz is one of those artists, when he was signed with Def Jam for all those years, I said, I think 2 Chainz would be all right as an independent artist. He got the studios. You know what I'm saying? He got other business ventures he can get money from. He not really focused on music. So I'm sure this independent grind is going to work out very well for 2 Chainz. I'm very positive, and hopefully we finally get the Static Selector project I've been waiting on since at least 2017. That's the main thing I'm hoping for 2 Chainz. Larry June did Larry June things on this project. We heard Larry June on Alchemist before. We know how Larry June and Alchemist, that tandem has worked very well. Larry June's going to be consistent. The content he's going to talk about, the different flows, the hooks, and just Alchemist coming with those wavy sounds. Like people said, the title of this project and the cover art of this project, when you press play, that's the exact feels you get. And I was very satisfied. I've been seeing a lot of great positive feedback from this project on the timeline. I think it's one, a lot of people didn't know what to expect, but when they saw the names, it was like, fam, 2 Chainz, Larry June, Alchemist, that makes sense. So now my favorite songs, Colossal, I really like. LLC, I really enjoy. Life is Beautiful. Generation, I love how 2 Chainz flipped that generation, saying we the generation got these young people doing this and doing that. Same with Colossal, the flows he was using. LLC, That made sense. Life is Beautiful. I love the production by Alchemist on that. Any Day, Epiphany, True Organic, and Jean Prof, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Alchemist went crazy on the production side of things. That sound is like a great last sequence of this project. From Any Day to Jean Prof, I love that sequence and the beats and the content, just the way these guys were flowing. No features, just them two tag team and going back and forth. My first few listens, I didn't get the vibe of both of them was in the studio. They heard one person verse and was saying, oh, I got to outdo that. I think they were just two great guys who were in their zone giving you great lyrics. Of course, 2 Chainz, he's going to rap like 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz has been rapping like he got a point to prove for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Atlanta, they get that stigma of just turn up music, lit club music. 2 Chainz is one of the guys alongside Killer Mike, of course, Outkast, Goody Mob, The Whole Dungeon. Even Future, at some point, when you start listening to what Future's saying, it's like, bro, this is like, I understand the beat getting you rocking, but Future's saying some shit. And 2 Chainz, another one to where he's making it more known now. I think with going this independent route, linking up with the Alchemist, Status Select, the Harry Fraud, you hear more what he's saying rather than you bouncing to it and you just catch it like, oh, you heard what he said? Now with 2 Chainz, you hearing him say, you know what I'm saying, we the generation got the kids doing, you know what I'm saying? So shout out 2 Chainz, Larry June, Alchemist, Life is Beautiful project. If you haven't already, check it out. A real quick listen, 11 songs, highly recommend. Also in music, this Friday, Valentine's Day, long-awaited Drake PartyNextDoor collab project, some sexy songs for you. Valentine's Day. We've been waiting for a while. Like I said, I feel like after P2, the recognized song these two guys had together, right before Drake dropped Views, I think it would have been great to get a Drake PartyNextDoor project then. But 2025, Valentine's Day, we finally getting it. I just want some good overall music to serve the purpose of Valentine's Day. Drake and PartyNextDoor should not overthink this album at all. It's Valentine's Day. We've been waiting on the project for y'all. We know the vibe. Y'all two can get together. It's Valentine's Day. Shouldn't be that hard. I don't want to hear no sneak disses, no mention it or no battle. It'll be another time for that, though, Drake. Eventually, you got to come out and talk about that. But with a collab album with PartyNextDoor on Valentine's Day, I don't want to hear none of that tough guy talk. It's called Some Sexy Songs for You. It could be background music for Valentine's Day, something to get to point A to point B at nighttime when you're on your date. It's a Valentine's Day album. What else do y'all want to hear? I just want to hear some sexy-ass songs. Give me the recognized type songs. Give me the over here type songs. PartyNextDoor, you know, I got to feel like he redeeming himself from that last album. I didn't really care for P4 like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like to hear some, what's that one PartyNextDoor song? The get high, I must be dreaming. I need some vibes like that. I need that grown woman vibe for Drake. Give me that Shot For You vibe. The what's another slow Drake song I really like? I don't want to hear no Blam, no Passion Fruit vibes. Give me the Hate Sleeping Alone type vibes, Drake. Y'all just get in that bag, and we'll worry about the tough guy talk later this year. We got the Super Bowl, Buddy about to dance all over you on stage. You don't need to worry about that right now. You focus on Valentine's Day with PartyNextDoor. Both of y'all got to bring y'all A game, though. I don't want to hear just no slow R&B shit for the sake of slow R&B shit. Make sure the content is good, the vocals are right, the hooks are on point. The vibe, bring us back to that 2013, 14 vibe. Come on, I'm rooting for these guys. I understand everything that happened, like I said before, but if it's good songs on there, it's good songs on there. That's why I stand at with this Drake PartyNextDoor album. Some sexy songs for you dropping this Friday, and I'll be back next week to talk more about that after I listen to it. And also some music news, man. Irv Gotti passed away, of course, founder of Murder Inc. Records. Ja Rule, Ashanti, Charlie Baltimore, Vita. That was my childhood. If you're talking about a young guy in elementary school coming home, watching Rap City and 106 in Park, Murder Inc., and especially Ja Rule will be on that countdown. You know what I'm saying? Mesmerized, Down For You, Ashanti, Foolish. Like, that was my era. You know what I'm saying? Then as I got older, learning Irv was linked with Jay-Z and DMX and, yeah, a staple in the hip-hop community, man. A music community, period. Irv Gotti, of course, his legendary Drink Champ interviews. Make sure you check those out. I'm not even worried about the 50 Cent drama, all of it. 50 Cent is just with the Big Meech, Rick Ross situation, Irv Gotti beef, and, man, like, I don't know, man. 50 is 50. And like the meme say, every day we learn why somebody did that to 50 all those years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, but all in all, rest in peace, Irv Gotti. Sending condolences out to all the family, family, friends, fans of the music. Ja Rule, he put out a statement. Ashanti put out a very, very well-written statement, being her and Irv Gotti got history together. It was beautiful to see. But, yeah, man, Irv Gotti responsible for a lot of records in my childhood, man. Like, that Ja Rule era was real. I was a kid. I can imagine being in the industry, being at these video shoots back then when the video vixens was going crazy. I can imagine being older at the time. I was just a young kid learning hip-hop, watching music videos. They at the beach, having a beach party at a mansion later that night. Like, that visual Murder, Inc. put in front of us as kids, it lives on to the day, man. So shout out to Irv Gotti, everything he's contributed to the hip-hop community. So like I said before, in music, 2 Chainz, Larry June, Alchemist, Life is Beautiful. Make sure you check that out. This week, Drake, PartyNextDoor, some sexy songs for you. I'll check that out and get back with y'all next week on that. But all in all, this has been episode 276, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week, a great school week, stay safe, be mindful of your surroundings. If you were in New Orleans this past weekend for Super Bowl, hope you guys stay safe. Didn't spend too crazy. It is Super Bowl and New Orleans. Those two things combined, craziness. So, yeah, all in all, keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.